Hammond Redevelopment Commission meeting to order on this Tuesday, July 18, 2017. It is now 4:32. Can you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence after?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Can we have a roll call, please, on the commissioners?
Soto Presley.
Here.
Casbricky.
Here.
Nevejas.
Here.
Myricks.
Here.
Poppridge.
Here. For the record, all five are present tonight. Number 3, declaration of conflict of interest. Number 4, communications.
Commissioner, I did receive an email from Ms. Karen Maravilla. Would you like me to read it?
Would you please?
It says, Dear Redevelopment Commission, on behalf of the Downtown Hammond Council, I am requesting the use of the former J.C. Penney lot on Holman Avenue and Sibley Boulevard during the 3rd Annual Arts on the Avenue Festival. The festival takes place on Saturday, August 26th. The City of Hammond approved our street closure request, but advised that we needed permission from the Redevelopment Commission to use the lot. If you have any questions, please contact me. Thank you for your consideration. Sincerely, Karen Maravilla.
Okay, we'll refer the letter to staff. If you need a motion before next meeting on something like that, or otherwise.
Sure, and I was just going to say, Mr. President, that for this event, the annual Arts on the Ave, I don't foresee any issues with us allowing them to use the property. And in fact, I'd almost promote doing that because it's a great event. It's going to bring people to downtown Hammond. The only thing I'd potentially suggest is that if there was going to be a motion to approve them to use the property for this festival on that day, subject to them having any liability assurance that's needed for their particular festival on that site.
That'd be my question regarding the insurance and liability, but who sponsors the event? Is it the Downtown Council or?
It is. It's the Downtown Hammond Council.
They sponsor them?
Right.
Being that our next meeting is going to be in August, I don't know that we want to shorten the leash on this, waiting till that, but just thinking out loud, you know.
Yeah, if you're comfortable, we can have the motion today and approve it today, unless there's somebody that has an issue, you know.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further questions or discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Soto Presley.
Yes.
Casbricky.
Yes.
Nevejas.
Yes.
Myricks.
Yes.
Poppridge.
Yes. Motion passes 5 yes.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Okay, number 5 is our homebound conditional forgivable loan approval.
Commissioners, you have 7 applicants on the agenda, and then we have an additional applicant that is here as well. Mrs. Miller could not be here for this meeting, so she asked that I help out. Could all the homebound applicants come up to the podium, please? And then I know you're going to ask your questions. The last applicant that was not on here is Daniel Carrick. He's at 3339 176th Place. Being that we did not have him on the list, what I would suggest, if you choose to approve him as one of the candidates as well, is to make it subject to the approval of staff to make sure that he has met all the requirements just as all the other applicants have.
Can you spell Daniel's last name?
Last name, according to this, is Kerrick.
Okay. Well, ma'am, at the podium, what's your name?
Melinda O'Neill.
Okay, so how did you hear about our program?
Actually, just through Google.
Google?
Yes.
That's a first. That is a first.
Right.
Okay. What about the couple behind her? And your names?
Jillian Narduzzi,
And how did you guys hear about our program?
our realtor,
And may I ask, who's your realtor?
Alicia Cruz.
Alicia Coldwell Banker. She's with Coldwell Banker, right? No, she used to be with Coldwell Banker. I know who she is. Never mind.
I know she's with Keller right now.
Yeah. You know what see, I'm a realtor. She used to be in my office.
Okay.
Not anymore. I'm sorry, that's my mistake. And lady behind you guys. And how did you hear about the program? You Google. Wow,
Googles.
2 Googles. And what about the lady next to you? And how did you hear about the program? Wait a minute.
Good to hear everybody's using that technology.
And what about the lady in the purple?
Melanie Rosenbach, a coworker of mine actually lives in Hammond, so she told me about it.
Okay, and the couple behind,
Carlos Alvarez from our realtor,
and who's your realtor?
Manny Hernandez.
I know Manny. Okay. You, sir?
Daniel Kerr.
Daniel Kerr. How did you hear about the program? Through your mom? Okay. And last but not least, ma'am? From a coworker. Okay. Are you guys first-time home buyers?
Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry, I kind of took that over. Anybody else have any questions?
All the right questions.
Okay. All right, so, Mr. President, I make a motion to approve the homebound conditional forgivable loan approval for the 7 applicants here, as well as the Daniel Carrick, provided that the staff is okay with,
Due diligence.
Yes, I second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the homebound conditional forgivable loan approval for the 7 applicants, as well as Derek Carrick, as long as all his paperwork is in order and final approved by staff. Okay, can we roll call on that?
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Kesbricki,
Yes.
Navejas,
Yes.
Myrick,
yes.
Poppridge.
Yes, motion passes, 5 yes. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You guys may be excused too, if you like. It's up to you, or you're welcome to stay.
Audience is gone.
Okay, number 6 is approval development agreement with Lear Corporation.
Commissioners, you have in your packet a development agreement between the City of Hammond, Hammond Redevelopment Commission, and the City of Hammond Economic Development Commission and Lear Corporation. This is a project that we've been working on for quite a while. It's had a lot of ups and downs, and in the end, thankfully, potentially, there's the possibility now of Lear building a new facility in the City of Hammond. We have a representative for Lear. I'm going to call him up, but I just want to preface and say, prior to this, with the potential approval of this agreement, which obviously talks about the project in general and what the city's participation will be as far as what would be considered an incentive, that there are still several steps that have to take place on Lear's behalf. They are still negotiating with the property owner, as well as still reviewing on the corporate side. So I want to make that clear as well. Saying that, we are very excited about this project. Why don't we start by having Dave Mott come up from Lear Corporation and just give a general overview of what Lear is looking to do.
Welcome.
Thank you, Phil. My name's Dave Mott. I'm the Director of Project Management for Lear Corporation from the real estate and property development side. So I won't be speaking about the operations, staffing issues, because that's a whole different group. I will speak purely about the property development. As Phil noted, we've been going through this process for the better part of 2 years. We've looked at a number of sites, both within Hammond and surrounding cities. We recently made a determination that we're best suited to stay in Hammond. That is, in I think everybody's best interest. And so we've been working with a developer, it's Crown Enterprises, who is purchasing property on Michigan Street. It's on the south side of Michigan Street, just east of Indianapolis. It's approximately 30 acres. Initially, our plan is to construct a 240,000 square foot building, which is approximately double the current size. We're right around 115,000 square feet now. We've outgrown it. We looked at expanding our current facility. We don't have enough property. So that's all part of what has been going on over the past couple of years, looking at virtually every option that we had. And we're confident that this is going to move forward. Certainly the agreement, the incentive is going to be a huge piece of that whole decision-making process. Hopefully in the next, within the next couple of weeks, we'll have all of our final approvals in place. That's our goal. In the meantime, we're kind of going with confidence where we're developing a site plan, so we'll be before you again, I suspect, in the coming weeks. We're going to try to fast track this. Our goal is to begin construction sometime this fall and begin operations in the spring of 18. Those operations initially would be the testing and validation and then full production after that. So I guess I covered everything that I think I can cover, but if there are any questions?
Would the approval of this new site, would you be using both sites, or would the other property be no longer needed?
The other property, we would relocate the current facility into that location, then we would sell that building or that property.
So assuming there's continued success in potentially this project, is there room for expansion here east of the boulevard, or are we way ahead of ourselves?
You're talking about the new site?
New one, right?
Yes, we like that site because it has that expansion capability, so we'd like to think that we're going to grow together here and expand. That's part of why we're moving, is we've outgrown our current space. And I believe we've been here, what, Phil, 20 years?
Commissioner, in the agreement, typically with an agreement like this, we're going to use conservative numbers. For example, I think it states that the project is going to be in excess of $26 million. I think from talking to Dave, there's a possibility it could be more than that. Probably will be more than that. So, but conservatively, where they're at right now, it's a significant investment. It's significant jobs that are at this that will be at the new location. And also, in agreeing with what I think the point you were trying to make is, I think the old Lear site is definitely going to be repurchased by somebody, and you're probably going to see a new operation move in there as well. So in that situation, it's kind of a win-win.
I don't want it to be perceived as even remotely negative here, certainly on the hard work of, keeping Lear and Hammond. And I know that's a feather in everybody's cap and hard work, but just, are we, in approving this, are we putting the cart before the horse with the quote-unquote potentially statement with all the other things that need to be achieved?
No, it's the exact opposite. So there's definitely a chicken and egg factor here. And for what Dave needs to accomplish for his project, this is the first step, is that they have to know that the city is willing to offer the incentive that we offered as part of this deal. And once this is approved and moves forward, he now can go through some of these other next steps that he needs to take, being able to share with them that we already have an agreement with the city in place. So everything that's in here potentially will move forward once he gets the remainder of the approvals that are needed. But I want you, if you, and I'm sure you did kind of read through it, one of the things about the incentive, which in this case is $4 million, it actually does not go to Lear until they have occupancy at the new site. So that means the site's been constructed, all the hard work and labor has been done, and now they're ready to start moving the troops in. So if for some reason, one of the approvals or something, there was a snag in the process, then obviously the agreement would at that point be tabled, and we'd go from there. But hopefully with the approval of this, it's going to be able to, now Dave can take it to the next step, which is have the corporate approval and get the agreement done with the developer of the property. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, but I myself read the agreement probably 3 times, and again, can't say that much of it stuck except for the devil being in the details, that the amount, And so, and I'm not, again, even remotely negative here. I just trying to have my brain grab the information properly, so.
And if I may, because we were working on that as late as, last Friday? Yeah. One of the things we were concerned about as well, just as you, we don't want the city to make any kind of, if you will, financial steps before we have all of our approvals in place. So the approving of this agreement doesn't trigger an event where you start collecting money. It's a vote of confidence, if you will, and then once we sign that agreement and we actually have control of the property, we sign a deal, that's when the clock, if you will, starts ticking, where the city would then go through the efforts to procure the funding. But we wanted to make sure that we didn't put the city in a position of agreeing to give us money, coming up with that money, and then we pull the rug out from under you. So we were pretty clear on that. It got straightened out on Friday, and I think it is in the detail. But again, the $4 million wouldn't come to us until we're done and we're ready to occupy.
I trust the due diligence of both parties. That wasn't a concern of mine. But commissioners, anybody? Well, just so everybody doesn't think I'm being negative, because I'm not. Again, I think it's quite a feather in the cap for Hammond and Lear. Mr. President, I move we approve the development agreement with Lear Corporation.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the approval development agreement with Lear Corporation. If there's no further questions or discussion, roll call, please.
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Kaspricki,
Yes.
Navejas,
Yes.
Myrick,
Yes.
Hawbridge.
Yes. Motion passes 5 yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Look forward to working with you all.
We as well.
Okay, number 7 is approval of Florida Avenue property acquisition.
Mr. Radowski.
Mr. President, Commissioners, I have to apologize again. Before you have a matrix. Can you please, on your matrices, delete that 3103 163rd place? It does not belong there.
Thank you for that clarification.
What we're looking for is a request for the Hammond Redevelopment Commission to acquire the property located on Florida Avenue in the Hessville section of Hammond. It's known as parcels, currently known as parcels 1 and 2 in the Orchard Park First Edition. The acquisition price is $45,000. The one appraisal that was completed came in with a value of $68,000 for the two parcels. I gave with your packet copies of the overreview, some subject photos, and so you can understand exactly what is being purchased here, and then copies of the comps that the appraiser used for the property. Basically, the property in question, it consists of two parcels. Parcel 1 is bounded by Parish Avenue on the west, Idaho Avenue on the east, Orchard Drive to the north, and 175th Street to the south. And that has a street plotted and 11 parcels planned for single-family housing construction in that area. Parcel 2 is located just south of that from 175th to the end of 175th on the south. And that could be plotted for anywhere between 9 and 10 60-foot lots for the construction, again, of single-family homes. Parcel 1 is, if you can see it, note that it's at roughly 2.57 acres, and parcel 2 is 1.345 acres. Plans have been discussed with the city. The city engineer has done some engineering studies on the cost of doing the infrastructure, completing infrastructure on parcel 1. And this is, correct me if I'm wrong, Phil, a recommendation to come in after Parish View is substantially completed.
No, that's correct. And we've talked several times at the commission about the need for new housing stock in the city of Hammond, and the success we've had, especially recently over the last 4 years or so, where potentially every house we've built has been sold either prior to completion or right at completion. So we know there's a demand for this, and I know we've talked about this with the Redevelopment Commission, that we would be looking for new sites for these types of developments. So I think this fits in directly with what we've talked about in the past.
Are these parcels next to each other?
Yes, they're joint. Parcel 2 is immediately south of parcel 1, separated only by 175th Street.
I was just looking at the appraisals here. I think I only have parcel 1 in my file twice. One is adjustments and one is sales. But
if you look at the over review, it says the value it does have a recap of the value indications of parcel 1 and parcel 2, and it states that parcel 1 is got a sales comparison of 45,000. Parcel 2 sales comparison approach of 23,000.
it's kind of my question. If they're adjacent, I would think that the appraisals would have come in much closer. Or is the size that much different?
Yeah, it is.
It is that much different?
Yeah.
Okay. Like I say, I was just only looking at one appraisal there, so.
And neither of these parcels have water, sewer,
None. No infrastructure whatsoever.
So, I mean, again, it looks like a, kind of, for us, a good place to be, so.
And I know we were talking a little earlier, normally we do the average of 2 appraisals, so if the other commissions don't have any questions or concerns, I would like to make a motion to approve the Florida Avenue acquisition, subject to the second appraisal averaging out to the purchase price.
Second, yep.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the approval of Florida Avenue property acquisition. Is there any further questions? Okay, roll call.
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Casperky,
Yes.
Abejas,
Yes.
Myrick,
Yes.
Poppers.
Yes. Motion passes, 5 yes.
To answer, thank you very much. To answer Commissioner Kasperzicki's question about size, 2.57 acres, parcel 1, 1.345 acres, parcel 2. So it's almost double in size, which kind of fits in with the.
That makes
the
sense. Like I
price.
said, I didn't have that information, so thank you for that clarification.
And together you have 3.8, 3.9 acres, almost 4 acres.
All right, thank you, Dennis. Okay, number 8's our reports. Mr. Phil Talon, would you like to share anything tonight?
Sure. Just 2 items. One, just to finalize comments on the approval of the Lear agreement today. You know, Lear is a top 5 employer in the city of Hammond. When we found out that there was the possibility of them relocating to another city nearby, so you'd hope that a lot of the folks that work there would still continue to do so. But I think, you know, as we met with Mayor on this project, if we'd have lost Lear, you know, not because of anything we did, but just because one of the issues we have in Hammond is larger parcels. There are not many 30-plus acre parcels in the city that we have available for businesses that are looking for this type of expansion. Fortunately, in this case, we did find one of the few. But if we'd have lost them, it would have been a blow to the city. More like the, you know, I don't know how you want to word it, but a blow to our morale more than anything, because they still would have been nearby and hopefully nobody would have lost their job or anything like that. But to save this project, to keep them in the city, I think today's a good day and a good first step to moving forward with this project. I know there's several more steps that have to happen, but just want to congratulate the commission on the step you took today, and thank you for being part of this. I think this could have an impact on Hammond for many, many years, beyond probably even ourselves being a part of the city and the commission and so forth. So thank you for what you did. Secondly, and a little less important, I just want to make note that Festival Lakes starts tomorrow. We're very excited. Should be a great week of entertainment and family fun, but more importantly, an aspect I look at often is that you're bringing people into Hammond that potentially don't get to see the changes that we've made, the upgrades that we've done, the quality of life projects that we've done throughout the city. And this is one of those events that I think draws a lot of people from outside of Hammond, even outside of Indiana. And we get to show off some of the work that we've accomplished. So I'd like to get it out there. Let's hope that the weather cooperates with us and we have a great week. But either way, I think it's going to be a fun week, and I'm sure I'll see most of you out there. Other than that, I'll be happy to answer any questions anybody has.
Okay, thank you, Phil.
I don't have anything.
All right, then, number 9's our bills.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to pay our register of claims for June 19th, 2017 through July 17, 2017. Register of claims R54843 through R55003.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the Register of Claims, June 19th, 2017 through July 17th, 2017. Claims R54843 through claim R55003. Is there any questions or discussion on these claims? Okay, roll call.
Soto Presley?
Yes.
Casricky?
Yes.
Navejas?
Yes.
Myrick?
Yes.
Ockridge?
Yes, motion passes, 5 yes. Number 10, new and unfinished business. Okay, number 11, public comment. Anybody like to come forward? You can speak, you have 3 minutes.
I'd like to note that Mr. Reardon is in the audience, and he's not going to speak. That is actually quite interesting to me.
Okay. Public comment is closed. Before we adjourn,
Maybe I'm gonna wait on this.
okay.
Or- No, I'm gonna go.
All right. Okay, Commissioner Soto has maybe an announcement to read here.
I have a save the date, announcement. Our, school district and our union is putting together a conference, an immigration education conference, which will be held at Morton High School on August 5th from 8 o'clock in the morning to 1:30. It offers tools and resources available to educators, school support staff, community at large, to help students, parents, and all people that are involved during a time of immigration and uncertainty. It's going to be workshops and all kinds of good information. That's August 5th from 8 to 1:30.
Okay. Thank you for the announcement, dates and times. Number 12 then.
Mr. President, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
We have a motion and a second, and you all signify by
Aye.
Aye.
ayes have it. Meeting adjourned.